BIPOC in film, take Rahul number 1. I could probably count the amount of dark-skinned black women I see on Netflix on one hand.
What am I thinking of? Oh yeah.
I was like, am I being redundant?
There's Black History Month or BLM protests are going on. You're putting up black fists or black squares. It's Pride Month. You put a rainbow flag logo. You're good. You've just like saved the whole planet.
Hi, my name is Favour Bright Agindotan.
I'm Rahul Barkley.
I'm Yein.
My name is Justis.
Hello, my name is Daniel Romero.
I'm a BIPOC
Filmmaker.
Actress.
Filmmaker.
Artist.
filmmaker.
The film industry is, for all of its good use as like, you know, an industry for a medium of telling like great stories.
It is really just a business, and their biggest thing is making money.
It really limits people in the capacity of who can actually get in there. It's one of those things where everyone talks about just connections, and a lot of the time only specific types of people get those connections.
There is a certain look that Hollywood has and Hollywood goes for. Usually like thin and tall and blonde or brunette. Primarily like white or white passing.
So whether it's a predominantly white cast and they just have BIPOC people just to kind of cross off the diversity checklist.
They're gonna pick something that's either done really well in the past, but the problem with that is majority of filmmakers are white and the majority of production heads are also white.
And it's just like hard if you don't fit into that body type or that like racial group to, I don't know, make some headway.
Can you, deal with the like urban talent?
I've been confused for a different Asian girl on set or a different Asian girl in class, and I get that that could be just a simple like mistake, not necessarily like because of my race, but then some people might come up to me and say, oh, I confused you for so-and-so because you guys look so alike, you could be sisters when we look nothing alike.
A lot of microaggressions, I feel like in general, come down to just assumptions people are making about you. And it's like, it's not something that's so overt, that's why people call it micro, but like, it's just stacking on and on.
I think for like South Asian people specifically, like the biggest thing is like people are like surprised that you're like a South Asian person working in the arts because they like assume you're like, an engineer or a doctor or something like that.
When it comes to acting or playing a character as a black woman, a lot of people will be like, do it sassier, do it harder, like be more of like this mammy stereotype. And it's kind of like, well, why can't I just be myself?
No, definitely not. I think it's getting better for sure. Like we've definitely made some strides.
I think it needs to be around more kind of just the human experience in general, not so much on the BIPOC experience itself. We just need to see more BIPOC people in every sort of film where they're the main character.
I think we're getting there. However, like there's definitely like some movies that came out last year where there are just characters simply to be that race. So there's a black person to talk about how black they are and how they're from the ghetto, or an Asian person to have smart parents and have good grades.
People will go in, they'll get, a white person onto their story, and they'll get a black person, they're like, we did it, we covered the whole range of people. And it's like, no, there's people of infinite backgrounds, even within just like skin tones.
I rarely ever saw dark-skinned women on TV, and so for the longest time I didn't think that I would be able to do that, because even now there's still a problem like when black women are in movies or TV shows, it's usually light-skinned women. But I feel as though if I as a child had seen somebody like me on screen, I would have been a lot more motivated and a lot more inspired, and I would have learned to love myself sooner.
Like to me, it's like making a good story, like writing good characters, making a good story first, and then just like, and the fact that they're South Asian or the fact that they're black is kind of like contextual and more of like a backdrop to like what the actual characters were facing.
It's important to include BIPOC people on and off screen because our media does kind of shift the kind of global consciousness of how they interact with certain people, so it's important for it to be accurately represented to create compassion for minority groups.
If you want to make a movie about like an Indian person, like hire Indian people to work on the movie, even if it's like a gaffer. Like I think that will still make a difference. Like I think it will still like the representation and like the reality of it will come across just naturally.
People of color should also be in like writing rooms. So, because people can tell, black people can tell, anybody who's not white, like, can tell if a person of color wrote the script or not.
People make stories that they know and that are personal to them. So we need BIPOC representation in the writer's room, on the production team, as producers and as directors as well, because they know what it's like and they know the story that needs to be told. So they're the best fit for diversity and BIPOC films.
So diversity is just universally a great way to approach anything that you want to do or that you should do. And so that applies fully to film.
Wake the up.